up on PNP, the Prime Minister will address the UN General Assembly tomorrow. Will his sales pitch be enough to at least help the campaign to get a seat on the Security Council many years away? We're going to talk to a political branding specialist about that and more after this. Stick around.
If there's a lesson to be learned from Canada's experience, I hope it is this: that all parts of society must have a shared role in building a successful, inclusive world. It is up to each of us to do what we can, where we can, to help migrants and refugees build better, more stable lives for themselves.
The Prime Minister in New York today speaking to world leaders at the UN. He was talking today about refugees, but tomorrow he will make what is expected to be a long campaign for a seat on the UN Security Council. So is Trudeau effectively rebranding Canada? Joining me now to talk about this political branding and repositioning Canada as a force in international diplomacy, political branding expert Richard Attias, who is also, he was the executive producer of the Davos Forum from 1995 to 2008 and a co-founder of the Global Clinton Initiative as well. So nice to see you. You're the person to talk to about this, Mr. Attias.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with what you think the government is doing right as an attempt to sort of set the stage for the Prime Minister and Canada internationally in hopes that we can take up a different kind of role.
I would say that it's really great to have a strong voice now coming from Canada. Canada is a brand, and it's a brand that everyone loves. I think it's important to mention that. And your Prime Minister, I'm not interfering in any politics here, but we have to accept that Prime Minister Trudeau is also a brand by himself. So to have a voice coming from Canada, and you had, in addition of the UNGA, a strong voice a few days ago with the Global Fund, raising billions of dollars commitment to fight against AIDS, against tuberculosis and malaria, was also a very strong message. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm not the only one saying that. Even Bono said, "We are Canada." And so I think it's definitely a very good window opportunity for Canada to have a strong voice in the public arena.
How is that different from the past? I mean, there was a lot of capital, I would argue, built by the former Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, in terms of the handling of the economy during the downturn, the recession in 2008. So people turned to Canada for the management of how we did there. So certainly there's a bit of momentum being built up here, or is it all just about what the Liberals are doing?
No, I think it's definitely about the momentum. You know, it's not only about the leader. It's about the right time to have a voice. The world is facing, as you know, so many issues. The refugees is one of the issues, but we have security issue. We have definitely to fight against poverty. The world is not in a very good shape. So I think it's important to hear voices coming from many leaders, not only the same, to be honest, and this is a new voice. And Canada is a country where you have very well-educated people, great skills, and as you know, education is crucial for solving many issues. So it's important to have this voice heard. And I think Prime Minister Trudeau is probably making much more public what he thinks and what he thinks Canada should be involved, which I think it's important.
What about influence, though? It's one thing to send out a message around branding and how you want to be perceived. It's another thing to admit that we are a middle power and we don't have an enormous amount of influence on lots of different stages. So how do you reconcile those two things?
This could change because Canada is known as a soft power influence.
Yes.
And I think now my personal feeling is that Canada is taking the stage to move maybe from soft power to, I would say, strong power, or at least very influential power. The world needs today to have global influencers. And as I said, we see a lack of leadership for a few years now, generally speaking. And when you even ask people in the street, believe it or not, they will come with some names which maybe could, be a question mark, like Mr. Putin or Mr. Erdogan being seen as strong leaders. So I think it's important to have a good balance now coming from the West, and I think Canada has a big role to play. United States of America will have a big role to play, and as you know, it's a big question mark with the presidential election, so people are very concerned about what will happen in America, and it is, as I said before, a great window time opportunity for Canada, and I think the world wants to have Canada being part of the discussion in many topics.
You talked about how the Prime Minister himself has a brand. I mean, that's fair game. Everyone, that's a public figure, has a brand of their own. Is there a danger, though, in his personal brand sort of overtaking what the nation is doing and the nation building that he might be trying to accomplish?
Let's take one very important industry, tourism.
Yes.
As you know, tourism is crucial for creating jobs and attracting people. And recently, Prime Minister Trudeau, as you know, invested his own person, to support some advertising to promote Canada as a destination for America, generally speaking. I think it's important to really show the commitment. And as I said, he's a brand by himself. The family name is a brand. And I think he's doing right to really be so committed. I don't think this will create any confusion or damage. I don't think by doing that he's showing that he has a personal agenda. I think he's sincere. Then we like or we don't like, we approve or we don't approve his politics. It's a different story. But at least he's supporting his country, and he's supporting his country brand.
Except that brand has to turn into something concrete, as you know, politically. So the chances, do you think right now, and I know we're years down the road, but of Canada getting a Security Council seat, and would that be an indication of something that is working?
Absolutely. There is a very important thing, deliverables. At the end of the day, you will be accountable, and you cannot be accountable in 5 years from now. The next few months will be crucial to show that all the commitments that you took or the call to actions are coming with concrete results. This is absolutely crucial. We are living in the world of the speed of internet, as you know, and the youth, the next generation, are very demanding. They expect results. So now the question is to have results on jobs, results on attracting foreign direct investment. I will bring a similarity with another country, Argentina. A few days ago, we hosted a big investment conference in Buenos Aires. And as you know, Argentina is a brand. President Macri is a brand. He got power a few months ago. And it was important to show to the world that the vision, the strategy, the convictions were able to be transformed as results. And they did a good job, because a few days ago they were able to attract more than 4,000 global CEOs with commitment of more than $50 billion to be invested in the country. Now it's about implementation and results. So Canada will have to manage the same thing. We have a voice, we have opinions, we want to be committed, we want to be part of the conversation, but we need the results.
Can I ask you, have they asked for your advice? Has the government asked for your advice?
No, but we'll be very happy to be part of the discussion. Half of my family lives in Canada for years, including my own daughter, who got married in Montreal a few days ago. So we love Canada.
All right, well, we'll take that. Thank you very much, Richard Attias. Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you for having me
today. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.